Welcome to KoalaGains, where our AI agent helps you evaluate different crowdfunding projects to make the right investment decision. So before we dive into the analysis, let's move to the crowdfunding platform to see what the project is about. We are here at the WeFunder crowdfunding platform, and we can see that the project at hand is Olympian Motors. They manufacture electric vehicles, and they are an emerging competitor to Tesla and Rivian. You can see that the company has already raised over $5.8 million, and they aim to raise over $8.9 million. We can scroll down to see further details. That includes that they're manufacturing for the US passenger market, and their modular vehicle e-drivetrain reduces machinery cost by approximately 80%. They currently have over 46 million plus in revenue pipeline and have booked over 580 plus orders for their two models, 01 and 84. We can see details about their featured investors, details about their team members, and as we keep scrolling down, we can see their entire lineup and their recent commercial milestones that they have achieved. So, for example, in December 2024, they have announced a partnership with NVIDIA where they want to develop a new OpenAI powered EV platform. Similarly, we can see that they have a lot of other information available as well. So, for example, they have information about their future projections. We can see that they have projections till 2027. They have some videos of the project as well and some key long-term objectives, which includes capturing 7% market share in the US by 2030, changing the status quo involving automotive design, and many more. Now let's move back to the detailed analysis and see how our agent has assessed this project. So here again, we can see that we have the initial summary that involves details regarding the project, that it is manufacturing modular electric vehicles, and it is a competitor for brands like Tesla, Rivian. We also have the details regarding orders in the summary, that they have 580 orders for the models, and they have strong backing by giants like Y Combinator, NVIDIA, Google, etc. And right underneath the summary, we can see the spider web that evaluates the project on 6 criteria. So we have founder and team, traction, market opportunity, and all others. You can see the project is performing good on execution speed, but it has a weak performance on financial health and market opportunity. So let's look into each one of these in detail. And these are the links that have been used. So we have the crowdfunding link, website link available, and the SEC filing link, and some more additional links. So let's look at founder and team initially. So we go to full report, and here we can see on our 5 sub-measures, the project has performed good on 4 of those. So here we can see that we have the LinkedIn profile of their CEO, we have the picture as well, the entire name, the title that they hold, and a summary about their credentials. So he's an electronics engineer, and he is ex-VC turned entrepreneur, and he has previously worked at Qualcomm with a focus on Snapdragon, automotive digital chassis, and AR, XR, and satellites. Furthermore, when we scroll down, we can see more information about the past working experiences. So we have the venture capital experience at Tech1 Ventures. He's also worked at Ford Motor Company, and he holds an engineering degree in electronics. Similarly, we have some details regarding their other members. So we have here details about John, his name, his profile, his summary, and his experiences as well. As we scroll down, we have information regarding more team members as well. So here we have information for Jasmine, and his summary includes that she was previously a business development lead at Cisco, and she holds a BA in economics from New York University. And these details are followed by her professional experience that involves senior managing consultant and some other experiences as well. So based on the experiences of all the team members, our model has found out that they are lacking previous startup experience, but they are doing really good at the length of involvement on this project, on their exceptional achievements, their past experience, and the journal profile information. Now let's move back and evaluate other criteria. So let's go to traction and see the full report. And similar to the previous measure, here they have performed bad on revenue and profit trends, but found really good on all the other 4 remaining measures. For the traction, we have the following results. We can see for the customer growth rate, they are performing really good, as they already have over 450 plus orders for their Model 01 and Model 84 as of January 2025. And we can see the same information right here on the crowdfunding project. Similarly, if we move back and look at their revenue and profit trends, now here our agent has found out that Olympian Motors has a projected $46 million revenue pipeline, but it has no current revenue reported, which indicates that the project is still in the early stages of monetization. Similarly, if you look at key partnerships or distribution channels, our agent has found out that they have strategic partnerships with industry leaders like Foxconn, NVIDIA, which further adds to their credibility. And we can see the same information available on the crowdfunding project right under the highlight section in the 5th point. Similarly, for the project development stage, we can see that the agent has fetched details like that they have started their test drive stage for the vehicles, which is in fact a crucial milestone for product development. And if we move back to the crowdfunding platform, we can see similar details. So here under recent commercial milestones, we can see that we have information regarding their test drive that have already been started. And finally, for the evidence of market validation, you can see that the agent has picked out 550 plus orders, and their aim to capture 7% market share by 2030, which adds to the market validation. Now let's look back and look at the other measures available. Now here for the realistic TAM under market opportunity, we can see that the project is not performing well, and the agent has based this calculation on the total number of potential customers in the US, considering the geographical limits and the demographic, focusing specifically on middle to upper income households. It also considered the price constraints based on the average price of vehicles in the market. So considering these factors, Olympian Motors is not meeting the requirements for a good realistic TAM. Furthermore, we have the serviceable available market, and again we can see a red cross as well, which is due to presence of established competitors like Tesla, Rivian, and a lot of constraints like safety, emission standards, and entry to barriers that can make it difficult for Olympian Motors to succeed in this competitive market. Now for the serviceable obtainable market, again the project is not performing well, and that judgment has been based on the financial banking involved, the strategic partnerships that represent the technical expertise, and the competitive landscape that Olympian Motors is operating in. And these factors were considered to assess the startup's ability to capture the market share within 3 to 5 years, and we can see the project is lacking in this regard. Next we have is the serviceable obtainable market that was estimated by considering the Olympian Motors' current resources, the financial backing that they currently have, the strategic partnerships, and the technical expertise, and the agent believes that they are not performing well on the SOM. Next we have are the sector-specific risks and opportunities, and we can see that Olympian Motors have correctly identified them, and that includes supply chain disruptions, changing consumer preferences, advancements in battery technology, incentives for EV adoption, and many more. This suggests the right amount of awareness for the risks and opportunities that are involved in this market. And finally, for the realism of market opportunities, we can see that the startup claims about the future projections may be a bit far from the reality. And this concludes our analysis for the market opportunity. The next measure that we have is execution and speed. So let's look at the full report. And here we can see that the project has performed well on all the measures. So let's see, for execution timeline overview, our AI agent has found that the project has developed some key milestones that involve partnership with NVIDIA and test drives in major cities. And if we move back to the crowdfunding project, we can see the details listed over here in the recent commercial milestones. And if we see the development velocity, again, it has performed good as they have adopted a steady pace in rolling out new features and updates. And we can see that by how frequent they have made updates under their recent commercial milestones. Similarly, if we check out their time efficiency metrics, we can see that all of their approvals and partnerships are within the industry norms. And again, that is a green light. For resource utilization, we can see that based on their team size, the output efficiency is under the favorable ratio as compared to the industry standards. So again, performing good on this sub-measures. And finally, for the industry comparison, we can see that the company is making good use of their funding, as we can see that their funding to execution efficiency ratio is really favorable as compared to the industry standards. And their regulatory compliance speed is aligning with the industry leaders. And this concludes our analysis for execution speed. So let's look at the remaining measures. Now the next measure that we are going to consider is valuation. So let's look at the full report. And here we can see for the valuation based on industry sector and market size, so it has performed well. The addressable market for electric vehicles is projected to reach $200 billion by 2030, while the SOM, that is the serviceable obtainable market, is estimated at $10 billion. So considering this market situation, the company's valuation of $63 million is reasonable. And we can also see how the agent has made these calculations. So the calculation logic here used was that we have used company's SOM against its valuation gap, and it gives a realistic valuation. Second valuation we have is based on traction and progress, and again, the project has performed well, as we can see that the Olympian Motors have over $46 million in their revenue pipeline, which constitutes of 580 orders for its different models. Moreover, it has also secured key partnerships with NVIDIA and Google, which indicates a positive market interest and a good potential for growth. However, if we consider valuation based on the past assets, we can here see that they currently have made no past sales before. So hence, if the valuation is only based on past sales, the project is not performing well. Similarly, we have valuation based on realistic revenues and valuation based on profit margins and the future profits. Now let's move back and look at the final evaluation criteria, that is the financial health. For the financial health, we can see that the agent believes that the project is not performing well on all of the sub-measures. So if we talk about the yearly revenue and growth rate, we can see that they only have a revenue in pipeline from their 550 plus orders. But till this date, they have not generated any revenue so far. And since we don't have any previous revenue, we can see that there's no growth rate as well. Well, if we look at the standard industry rate for EV startups, that's around 20%. Similarly, if we look at the burn rate and runway, we can see that Olympian Motors have a high burn rate and it has a net loss of $738,000 with cash reserves of just slightly under $500,000, which means that they have a runway of approximately 8 months. However, if we compare this runway with the industry standard, that is at least 12 to 18 months. So again, the project is lacking on this measure. Similarly, for fund utilization efficiency, there's missing data regarding the breakdown of how the funds will be utilized, which adds uncertainty to whether funds will be allocated appropriately or not. And if you consider the clarity of new funds allocation, again, the investment overview does not provide details regarding how the funds will be allocated to different sectors, again bringing uncertainty and hence not performing good on this measure. And finally, for the runway of the startup, we can see that we have used the financial statements and the industry benchmarks for runway. And if we talk about the industry for EV startups, a runway of less than 12 months is considered to be risky, and in this case we can see that Olympian Motors has a runway approximately of 8 months. So using this criteria, the agent believes that for runway of the startup, Olympian Motors is not performing good as well. And this wraps up our evaluation for Olympian Motors. See you in the next one.